said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
Right, well, are we rolling, Southpaw?
We are rolling.
Are you in the room?
I'm in the room.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
You get sat down. So, cameras are on, right?
Cameras are all on, Daniel. Don't
You
worry.
sure?
Don't worry about that.
We had a boo-boo not long ago.
No, we didn't. We had a slight boo-boo. But...
It was an important podcast, and one of the cameras wasn't on.
Oh, no,
But no,
for 8 minutes out of a 2-hour podcast.
We were lucky.
Yeah, we were lucky.
You know,
I was on it. I was on it, Sky. Don't stress about
that. Okay, a little intro, right? Here you go. I wrote this. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Today's guest is an entrepreneur. What we know, the man behind Divergent Roadman Limited, which is a barber's in Darlington, Divergent Roadman Digital, a creative media production and SMM service. He creates hair products, promotional videos, he can box, and he can whiten your teeth. I'm sure there's a lot we don't know about today's guest, and hopefully today we can learn some more. We are grateful to be joined by Mr. Sky Taylor.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, thank you for talking with people like us. First things first, mate. I'm going to start with the name Sky. That's a cool and unique name. I've never heard that name.
It wasn't growing up.
Was it not?
Mate, I wanted to be called Dave. Honestly. Ask my mother. I wanted to be called Dave when I was a kid. I hated my name. I used to have long blonde hair as a kid, and people used to ask me what my name was, and everyone used to go, I used to go Sky, especially when I came up here, and they'd think I'd said Scott, and I used to just go, yeah, Scott. My name's Scott. That'll do. Because I fucking hated it, mate, honestly.
Really?
I did not like my name, nah. Because people did, with my hair, I was like very pale skinned. My hair was white up until about the age of 6. And people used to think I was a girl when I was a kid.
Really?
So, yeah.
Huh.
But now I've got older, you know, I love it. Yeah, I love how unique it is. I even gave my little girl a 3-letter name, you know, to kind of go with mine a bit.
What's she called?
Ava.
Ava.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
My friend's got a kid called Ava, a daughter. Nice name.
Yeah.
Ava and Darcy, I think they're called. Nice. But yeah, do you know, I mean, I think it's one of those, when you're a kid, you know, you don't want to stand out, do you? You don't want to be different. So I can imagine, you know, it's an unusual name and kids will pick that up. But like you say, as you get older, you probably think, I've got a fucking awesome name. I don't want to be Dave.
Is
you know?
now we're out there, do you know? Yeah, I don't mind it.
Like, sort of where you are, you know, just the last 45 minutes that I've looked into you, I think like it's like adding to it, innit? You know, like you got a proper cool name.
Yeah.
We talk about this, right? If you weren't called what you were called, like I was called Daniel, and I always hated Daniel. I used to be like embarrassed that I was called Daniel. I used to, when I was at school, I wanted to be known as Danny, because I thought Danny was cool. As I've got older, like, I don't want to be called Danny now. Like, I like Daniel. I like Dan. Good Christian name, you know what I mean?
I think, I think it's, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. I like what my mum called me, and I like the reason why she called me my name. And I think you don't understand these things as a kid. Going through school, I think kids will try and pick out anything on you, do you know? And unfortunately, the most obvious thing to pick with me was my name. So if it wasn't that, it would have been another thing. Do you know? I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that. What was the reason you were called Sky?
So, Mum was a bit vapey, to be honest.
Love this.
So, I think if I was a girl, she was going to... What was it? She was going to call me... I think I was going to be called Amber if I was going to be a girl. But I just think that, just looking up, you know, the sky.
Yeah, man. No, it's a really interesting name. When I first found out that off Southpaw that Sky Taylor was coming to talk to us, I thought that's got to be like a made up. That's not really his name, but no, it is his name. Yeah. Cool.
Nickname.
Yeah, big up Sky's mum. I like it.
Yeah, mum.
You, mate, we're going to unpack things. As I say, I've probably not done my due diligence. I've done 45 minutes research into you, wrote a few points. I've seen things like barbers, digital creator, hair products, teeth whitening, boxing. You've designed boxing gloves, products, which you've just introduced me to. By the way, before we go any further, for our viewers, tell us about these again, Sky.
So these are a couple of fragrances that we have. We have a full range of products. We're bringing out another one. These represent men's mental health. We have a story behind this, and we're going to be releasing a whole production to represent our fragrances, our range of fragrances. And it's the story that we've created is about a Viking warrior called Creedle Wolf who has to take on the responsibility after losing his dad of looking after his people. So it's kind of representing the weight of men looking after their families, you know, carrying the weight of, you know, being responsible for their family and their people. And in each box, it tells two halves to the story. And one box, it's like a day fragrance and a night fragrance. And one is him and one is his demon. If you look, the logos are slightly different.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's in reverse. So, like, yeah, one's him and one's his demon.
So this one's the him.
That's the night.
Yeah, the night.
This is the day. That's the night. That's him and that's his demon.
Got it.
So that's got the first half of the story in. That's got the second half of the story in. We're bringing the third one out, which is going to be like the key to Valhalla, and it's going to have a scroll inside it, and it's going to be a third part to it, and it's going to be like the premium fragrance that we do. So that's in the works at the minute. We'll be releasing that very soon, so it's exciting.
If people want to get themselves lavished in Creedle Wolf, how do they purchase Creedle
We
Wolf?
are actually getting a website, so we'll have a website that will be going live for when we go live in the beginning of June, so they'll be able to purchase on there. At the minute, you'll have to give us a message, you know, and we'll send one out to you or whatever, but yeah, you'll be able to purchase some on our website very soon.
Did you get the domain name, Creedle Wolf?
We've got the domain name Divergent Roadman, so it's all going on.
I get you.
We've got one website that we're getting made that's going to showcase everything we do, and you're going to be able to purchase these things on there. That'll start us off. Then we are going to create individual websites for all of our brands. Right. So one step at a time. Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, Creedle Wolf, drop him a message, drop Sky a message. What was that, Southpaw?
I'm not sure what that was.
No idea. Yeah, drop him a message. I'm sure they're delicious. So, okay, mate. If you don't mind, because it's funny you should say this two halves. I feel sort of like your story's like two halves.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a lucky coincidence, but just from what I've learned about you, there seems to be two halves to this story, and they're very different.
Yeah.
And it all sort of came to a crunch at 16.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's start from the beginning, right? So tell me about you growing up. Tell me what that was like.
So growing up, yeah, man, I had a good mum. She did everything she could for me. Do you know, she tried her hardest to be a good mum. There was never really anything there. My mum and dad's relationship, I don't ever remember them ever getting on.
Right.
It was pretty, do you know, my dad was making me get changed out of my clothes in the van before I went to my mum's, do you know, and it was a really weird back and forth from my mum's to my dad's. They didn't get on at all. I had to leave everything from my dad's at my dad's and my mum's. And this kind of confusion, there was a lot of arguing from as long as I can remember up until, well, the whole time I was in contact with my dad. But it was, I think that subconsciously affected me as a kid. I was very confused. From a very early age, I didn't really understand why I was here, because I didn't particularly feel like either of my parents intended to have me. Do you know, I didn't feel like I was wanted in a way. once I was there, I was being looked after, and my mum loved me, but I never felt like I was supposed to be born here. I remember coming down the stairs once to my dad's, being on the phone to my mum, arguing when I was at my dad's house, and hearing my dad say that I should never have been born. So like, these things are things that stuck with me a lot as a kid. So I didn't really have much guidance. I think that was where my issues started as a kid, is not having the right guidance. So then I've also got ADHD. I've not been diagnosed. I'm self-diagnosed. Anyone that knows me, my family, all the way through growing up, people have told me that I've had ADHD. And I think that was a big part. I think that developed from around that point, maybe onwards. And yeah, it wasn't all bad. There was a lot of good moments. I spent 3 months in India at 6 years old with my dad. So it's strange, like, at both ends of the scales, there was a lot of problems, but some mad, really good experiences that not many people get to do. So it's just really confusing, my childhood, to be honest. I didn't really know where, like, I didn't really understand my purpose at all. School was an absolute fucking nightmare for me. I did not get on at school at all. I was being told all the way through, you'll regret it, you'll want to come back to school when you leave. I don't. I hated school so much. It was a massive problem for me. The curriculum stands for the academic, and that's it. And if you're not academic, then it grades you in how intelligent you are. And like, so all the way through school, I was sat in low sets with people that 100% didn't have my understanding. And it was a very frustrating position to be in, I think, for the first 10 years of your life. So not understanding, why you're here, and then being forced to do all these things that do not fit with who I am.
Yeah.
It was a massive problem. So that's where all my problems started, I think.
I'm assuming, just through your explanation, I'm assuming that your mother and your father are quite different characters, right?
Very different characters, yeah.
Yeah.
Opposites.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, you look back and like they once were together,
Yeah,
And
it wasn't long.
No, not long.
No, I think I was a bit of a, like, they weren't together very long.
Right.
No.
So, okay, you did mention that. So, if you don't mind, you went, how old were you when you went to India? Because that's pretty unusual.
I've been twice. I went when I was 6 years old for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was quite obsessive, my dad. So it explains why, there was all these problems, but then he'd do something like that. And I think it was one of the most unbelievable experiences I've ever had in my life, that I'm extremely grateful for. I learned more in that 3 months than I ever did in any other time in my childhood. We travelled from like the middle of India, Goa, to the south, but we did it the way that the locals did. So we stayed on all night trains. We went down to Kerala, stayed with tribes in the rainforest, went to Hampi. I rode elephants, went to visit all of the temples. There was only 2,000 people that lived there. Got to do all these amazing things. Went into backwaters in Kerala, and like, I remember this family being there. This was the first time I was there, and they were, we were on this narrowboat on a tour, and this family came running to like the little bet where we were coming down, and start jumping up and down and going mental. And we were like, what's going on? And they said, oh, you're the first white people they've ever seen. So like, yeah. So like, these are the things that I experienced when I was 6 years old, and just completely opened me up for the rest of my life.
So young to be doing that, 6.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
So I was going to ask, but I'm just listening to the story, and it might not be the case. I thought, was it like a work thing? Did your dad work in India? He's
a DJ, so he travels all over the world DJing.
Right.
But no, he's very... my dad is very... he's a bit of a white rasta, and he's very like, organic. He likes to travel. He likes to do everything the raw way, go to see third world countries a lot. And so in his teachings, I suppose he's got good teachings, really. Like he's some of the experiences that I had with him were absolutely unbelievable. But then some of them on the opposite end of the scale were horrendous. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mad one, to be honest.
It's a special experience, though, right?
Oh, mate, like I said, it was incredible. Like, I learned so much. It's madness. And like, I remember helping someone. Well, my dad helped someone, a disabled guy, and I mean, he was so severely disabled. He was walking on all hands and like he was walking on all fours. He was completely crippled, and he had a sister at the time that was given. She was pregnant, and she had this problem with her, and if she didn't, either her or the baby were going to die, basically, if they couldn't raise enough money to save them. So we ended up helping them out a bit. We got to know them. And just being around all that as a kid at that age, like, you come back here and you're like, all this shit around me in England is not even a problem.
No.
You know?
Big, like, perspective maker, isn't it? Like,
100%. It's crazy.
We whinge here and stuff, you know. There's no raspberries in Sainsbury's today.
Yeah.
I'm fuming.
Yeah, I know.
Then you go to somewhere like that and see that, and it's like, ooh, like,
It's mad.
we live a different world, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So your dad, a DJ, travelled around the world. Like, that to me means like a good DJ.
Yeah, he's a dub and like dub, ska and reggae DJ. So obviously it's quite a niche. But yeah, man, like the last I heard, I think he was going to South Africa or something and doing a massive festival there.
Wow.
So he's travelling all over the world. When I was a kid, he had a big equipment PA hire system. I mean, my whole dad's side of the family, like, I'm a bit of an abomination, I think, with my mum and my dad, because my mum's my mum's like really intelligent woman. She's actually at 50-year-old. She's just got 2 degrees in. Actually, I think I might be wrong there. I think she dropped one, but she's just done a degree in philosophy.
Wow.
At her age in Durham University. Her lecturer was actually on the Joe Rogan podcast.
No way.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Wow.
So, like, she's a really clever woman. My dad's side of the family are really business orientated. So my uncle owned a multi-million-pound company in Birmingham called Jones and Clark's, and my dad has obviously done really well in his equipment hire company and his DJing. And my great granddad on that side, he originally owned the tool company, so that got passed down. So it's like my whole dad's side of the family are very entrepreneurial, business-minded, artists. My dad's a left-hander like me. He taught me how to draw and stuff, you know. So it's like I'm a bit of both.
Do you know, mate? I say I don't know you well. I've just looked for 45 minutes, but everything you've just said about your parents and your families, like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because everything you've just told me, I can see a piece of it in you.
Me. Yeah.
I can see a piece of it.
The older I'm getting, this is why it's a tough thing, man, and it's something that I think about quite a lot, to be honest. And I don't know where, like, relationship wise, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I haven't spoke to my dad in years. I didn't see him for 8 years when I was younger, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, like, I think about it all the time, and the older I get, I realise, Jesus, man, like, I really am a piece of everyone. Like, I'm my own person. I'm very, I stand out like a sore thumb. But, like, I see how all these things I've once questioned about my parents and or my family or whatever, they're starting to make sense. And I think the older you get, the more you realise people are just people with their own problems. You think your mum's your mum, this can't happen, this can't happen, your dad's your dad,
Yeah.
But it's not. People are just people with their own issues. So you start, as you get older, I think you realise and start becoming a little bit more lenient and understanding.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think I reached an age where, I think this happened about not that long ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, where once upon a time, if you talked about mum and dad, I just saw them as my mum and my dad. But about 6 or 7 years ago, I was able to see them for who they were, if that makes sense. They weren't just mum and dad. I could see Margaret and Tony
as an individual.
Yeah, and I started to recognise like who they are.
Yeah.
And what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really learn anything new. I guess my perspective just changed on it, and you start to be able to see the human being they are, as well as just this figure, mum and dad.
Yeah.
You know? And like, you know, where I'm going with that is that yeah, everybody, they are just people.
Yeah.
You know? Same as us. But
People like us.
yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, people like us, yeah. But I can definitely see all these bits all sort of in you now with your own spin on it. I mean, I don't imagine we'll get to it in a minute, but I don't imagine there's any boxers in your family.
There's not actually. They're all kind of like the complete opposite of that. That's why I'm the abomination. Because, yeah, they're all peace and love, mate.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But not really.
Yeah, yeah, really, yeah. Right, so, okay, so we're going to get to like this crash, let's call it, at 16. But first things first, this all stemmed from somewhere, right? So, okay, you're in school, you're confused, you're mixed up. I'm guessing everything that you would think comes with it. You were with the wrong people, you were getting into trouble. Tell us about that.
I think a lot of it as well is one of the guilty... one of my guilts, I think, is the fact that I think growing up, one of the only things that I used to thrive off was attention as well. When I start getting into trouble, I don't think I ever got the attention that I wanted for the right things I did. Like, I used to do a lot of drawing and stuff as a kid. And the memories that I have of showing me drawings to my parents and stuff is that they used to just kind of like look at it and go, oh, yeah. Or if we were around a friend's house, something, they'd be more bothered about having the chit-chat or the partying with their friends if they're having drinks or whatever than, you know, giving my drawing any recognition or whatever. And so this is, I remember all these things. Like, I remember the face when he used to show me, they used to shove me off, you know, because they're busy. And like, I really do think that's got a big part to play in like getting the attention by doing the wrong things, because it was, you know, the attention was just attention. And having in a school where there's loads of kids and stuff, I think having all them people, like, even if it was for something bad, look up to me or kind of give me you know, any kind of
recognition,
social rating, then I would buzz off it. So that was something alongside that progressed me in the wrong direction. But at school, school was the back end of school. I started getting naughty, and I definitely got in with the wrong crowd, 100%. Couple of them are dead, half of them are in jail. One's in jail for 19 years for murder, stabbed someone up in the back of a car. So you talk like, these are the people, this is the group of people that I ended up getting in with. And then, when I was 14, I got into a relationship at a young age. I think it was 14. But no, I was 15, she was 14. Which is mental to think about now. Actually saying that out loud is absolutely bonkers, because it's such a young age. But when I look back at my group of friends, we were like adults, man. The things that we were doing then were crazy. And I think because I was such an enclosed person, like, my mum always tried to get me professional help with she got me to see counsellors and stuff as a kid, and like always tried to get me working on my self-esteem and stuff. I was always someone that was very enclosed, didn't tell no one how I felt or anything. And like, I think when I got with this lass, she was the first person that I kind of like spoke to. So then when she didn't want to be with me anymore, and like I lost that, it sent me, like, I was physically ill for a week after that. I remember it was my auntie's wedding, and like, I was like in the hotel room all night spewing. I was just ill, mate. And like, after that, once I'd kind of accepted it and swallowed it, I just went off the rails. getting into loads of trouble from then on. Decided that I didn't want to be at home anymore, because obviously there was a lot. It was causing more problems at home. It was supposed to be a planned move, but things got that bad at home and stuff. I ended up moving in with someone, but that messed up. And then I ended up homeless for 6 months. My mum and my stepdad at times, because of the problems I was causing and the danger that I was potentially bringing back to the home. I mean, at some points I had people knocking on the door for me, do you know, where my little sister was. So
Looking for you.
Looking for me, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there was all sorts I was getting involved in. And, they said that I couldn't come back. So from that point, I was homeless. And I think they always thought I was safe and that, but I wasn't. I never, do you know, there was some really shit things that happened in that time. I remember there was one time that I got really drunk. This was the first place I was staying in when I was homeless. It was someone that I was knocking about with. His mum, I mean, like, I have all the respect for putting me up no matter what, you know, but it was rough. They were all smoking weed all the time. It was like, it was heavy, man. It was, and there was a lot of drugs going on and stuff. And I remember being there, and we got palatic drunk one time, and all of the people that I with. So, our friends were a group of friends that used to bully each other all the time. It was like serious bullying that was going on. You get tortured in the group of people that I was with. And there was this one time that I was drinking with them, and the last thing that I remember was downing like a bottle of spirit and climbing up this fence and falling back and smashing my head. And from that point, I don't remember anything, but like, this was something that I will never forget. I got loads of pictures taken of me in the bathroom of what I was staying at, because I don't remember anything. I'd crap myself, pissed myself. This was like probably about a month after being homeless. I got photos taken of me, like, just proper tortured, mate. Like, and these were my mates that done that. And I think that was the point when I was down there that just shattered me, where I stopped caring. You know, this was the point where I became, there was no emotion in me anymore. So I think that was the point where I started to become a bit of a dog. And I think, and that's like, in a pretty negative way, to be honest, like, because I just didn't care. So then the things that I was getting into trouble with after that, was horrendous. We were burgling people. We'd been involved in muggings, and it was horrendous.
How old is this? 16.
This was 16. This happened in a space of 4 months.
Right.
So
homeless, staying at your friend's house. It was a bit of a wrong'un's house. This going mental off the thing, and then to the crime was all in a 4 months.
All
window.
In 4 months, yeah. I think I had about, I can't actually remember off the top of my head now, but there were several charges. I ended up wanted anyway I'd bounced between a few mates and quite a few nights on the streets. I'd spent like several, I don't know an exact number, but between a week and 2 weeks, odd nights starting about. I remember staying in the block of a flats at the top of my mum's road. Like, oh, it was mental, mate. It was like, thinking about it, it's crazy.
In that situation, are you sleeping or are you just sheltering?
I think trying to. Like, I remember actually trying to get some rest in a bush, which was near the shopping centre that I think it was called the Rushes in Loughborough. And like, I remember staying in a bush behind where all the bikes get locked up. And then when I realised that door wasn't locked, because basically the apartment that I was staying in at the top of the corridor was like, I'd just curl up in a ball, to be honest, at the top of the stairs, and like
just with your clothes
put
on,
my head on my knees, and just try and get a few hours. And I'd go out the next day with too much pride. None of my mates would know that I'd spent the night on the streets.
No way.
Yeah, so like, I never used to, do you know, when I, like, probably when I first moved from Leicester to Loughborough, so at the end of year 6, I moved from Leicester to Loughborough, and
With your family?
with my mum, my stepdad, and my sister. Yeah, it's only like from Darlington to Richmond, it's like 15 minutes. It's not far, and
Loughborough's nice, right?
it's all right. It's all right. But these are where I met the bad group, like the group of people that obviously didn't. They ended up getting us into a lot of trouble and stuff. But even when things were supposed to be all right, like I remember a group of friends. These were my first friends that I met in Loughborough. Rang me up, rang my house phone up, asked my mum to speak to me, asked my mum if I could come out. Sorry. I walked 2 miles to their house and they sat behind the door laughing. They rang me up to get me out, to just sit behind the door and not answer. And I'd have to turn around and walk home. And I didn't even have... my mum only knew about that a couple of years ago. I brought it up and I thought I'd mentioned it before and I hadn't. She was like, what? And like, yeah, I just didn't have any... I just didn't want to go home and tell my mum that I had no friends. So it's like... Yeah, all these are things that have happened that like I didn't even tell anyone for a long time, and then obviously when it got really, really dark and really bad and started getting all into trouble, I was just completely shattered by this point. And the last time I got arrested down there, I was wanted for 2 weeks, and they found me in my mate's flat, and someone that was staying with's flat, and they kept me in from the Friday night till the Monday morning. They were only I was a juvenile, obviously, I was only 16. They took me to Leicester, Beaumont Leys, kept me in the cells. They applied to keep me in for longer, and then again, which is super rare, and they took me, I remember getting handcuffed on the Monday morning to a G4S officer, that I wasn't even allowed to just walk. I was getting passed from person to person, and and I got in the G4S van, got took straight to Leicester Crown Court cells. The maddest thing ever, right? I was got put in the cells, and the person that was in the Crown Court cells, I looked at him. I completely forgot about this up until now, but this is mad, and. He was a lad that I went to primary school with. I couldn't fucking believe it. Was in the Crown Court cells there, and like he actually ended up getting sentenced. He got about 6 years in jail. He did, but it was. I think that was a time that I remember very clearly. It was a time of where I was extremely empty. I wasn't feeling anything at this point. I was just broken. The solicitor told us that I was going to go to jail. And yeah, when I went to I got took there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock. I got took into the court.
This is magistrates, right?
Crown.
Well, you went straight from the police cells to Crown?
To Crown Court on the Monday morning, yeah. So I was wanted for 2 weeks. So it took me straight to Crown Court. So it's serious. Like, as a 16-year-old, yeah, you're going to jail if that happens.
Right.
There's no doubt, like, 100%. Even my solicitor told me I was expecting it. And my nana's quite respected by authority because she's a foster carer. I'm guessing... and I still don't know to this day. Every time I talk about this, I say I'm going to go and ask my nana, but I never do. And I keep forgetting. But she must have contacted the courts to take into consideration me moving up to Darlington for a fresh start. And anyway, we started going through the court process, and the panel asked to leave. They said, can you give us a couple of minutes, Sky? And they went out, they came back in. And the guy who sat in the middle of the panel said, look, we know you're not a bad kid. We want you to go and stay with your nana. Do an 11-month referral order there, and then by all means you could come back down. But we want you to stay up there to complete your referral order. So I was like I think it was either that day or the next day. Literally, I got took up to me nana's up here, and I've never looked back. That was it.
That's a really unusual path.
It is.
I've had two sides to my life as well, and I've been passed through the court system before, but it always started out as magistrates. It started out as magistrates, then if it was too big for there, you went on to Crown.
I think I'd already been to magistrates a couple of times before then. Like by this point, I'd had 6, 7, 8, maybe even a couple more charges on me. One was conspiracy to burgle, one was burglary, theft from dwelling, fraud by false impersonation. There was like some heavy accounts on there, so I got really, really lucky. Like I should not have. I shouldn't have walked away from that.
You know, there's not many people that I've met that have the experience, as I have, of standing in a Crown Court with the G4S people next to you. This is big boy court now.
Yeah.
And you've been told outside the room by a barrister that you could be going to jail here.
Yeah.
And you're stood there for sentencing and they make you stand up, and when that fella with the wig on starts talking to you and saying that, and I imagine it happened the same for you, where everything just goes in slow motion. I remember being in that situation myself and I thought I was going to jail.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a room full, like there was different people. There was, my parents were there, people I was with, some people I didn't want there were there. And I remember as the judge was reading it out, the world just sort of, this tunnel happened, and it was like everything went numb like this. And I remember
that's exactly what I felt, mate.
And I was and I was wobbling, like, and I felt, I'm going to go, and I just felt all this, like, I've never felt the feeling before, this like rush through my hair, and like it was just spine tingling, I would guess.
This point, I was completely gone. Like, I remember sitting there, I couldn't even look at them. I was just sat there, like, it's looking away from them.
Right.
And, like, tears were streaming down my face. I wasn't showing much, but I was just pure broken. Like, they were saying all the things that I'd done. And I think, thinking about it now, it's like, at the time, I was probably just, like, everything that had happened over that short period of time just kind of hit me all at once. But like, yeah, man, I was so broke that I didn't understand how I should take. I was just kind of like moving in time.
You'd been through it, brother. Just that, never mind everything else before, which there was a lot of turmoil, as you pointed out, the mum and the dad, like, disputes when you were younger, the drawings, and like you're not feeling like you were being noticed. All that in itself would, in my opinion, would carry its own scars. But let's just isolate that 4 months that led up to this. Not discounting all that from before, because that all played a part in this. But just isolating that 4 months, the sleeping rough, the seeing this, the humiliation, the torturing, I can imagine this 16-year-old kid. I can imagine you sat there in the court, you've been in fucking cells, you've had fucking handcuffs on you, you don't know, you can't tell your ass from your elbow, and your world's like, I can imagine it. I can imagine you just broken and just, like, your soul's gone. You know what I mean? Your soul's just been snapped.
Yeah.
And whoever, you're right, I don't know what people believe in, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in, the Easter Bunny, but something happened in that room where something decided, whatever it was, that wasn't going to be your path, because you very well could. If you've been rushed up to Crown Court, they evidently had a vendetta, not a vendetta, because you probably deserved it given what you did.
Yeah, definitely.
But your path, that looks like it. Let's lock this guy up for a little bit and let's teach him a lesson. But something's happened in that room that day.
For a reason
that has sent you packing, and really, mate, give you an extra life, because I am, of the mindset that had you have gone to jail, it might not have turned out how it turned out, because that can break you to a point where maybe you don't come back.
Or met different people, or
So you've
possibilities.
You've been whisked up to, the lovely town of Darlington, Costa del Darlington,
which it is, by the way. Anyone
lovely.
that doesn't like living there, it's an amazing place to live. It's got everything.
Lovely town.
I absolutely love living in Darlington.
You don't realise how nice Darlington is until you get about a bit.
Yeah. It's a lovely place to come home to. If you're stuck anywhere in the world, you could be stuck in Dubai. it will start to become a place that you get sick of. You need to make sure that you're moving about, and it's it's an amazing place to come back to.
Yeah, my brother, I travel like Christopher Columbus. I go all over the place, right? I'm always here, I'm always there. I've travelled all over the world, very lucky. After about 5 days, every time I start thinking about Darlington.
Yeah, you miss it, man.
And I cannot wait getting off that plane at Newcastle Airport and smelling that northeast air and coming down the motorway and seeing Darlington. Yeah. But no, you're right. And then when I was a kid, I used to hate Darlington. I was like, I want to live in America, like in the films. But as I've got older and I've been around a bit, I'm like, I live in Awesome Town. Yeah. Like people, I believe you could leave your door unlocked in Darlington. I don't believe anything will happen.
I don't know about where I'm from. I've had a hammer chucked through my shop, mate.
Ah, right. Yeah. Right.
Like
maybe
through
I've been
my
lucky.
shop window. Yeah. Oh, yeah, mate. A smackhead ran past and launched a hammer through, hit a client in the head.
No way.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah, it was fucking mental. That was a few years ago, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that happened.
Well, maybe we'll
get to that.
Yeah, maybe it was an accident, Maybe you didn't mean to. Let's say that. But anyway, right, so we're up to Darlington, right? We're with Nana. The loving arms of Nana.
Yeah.
So, I know you got your Nana's, then I know I've pieced together a kind of a story. There was the start at Jaeger's. What's happened? You kind of just got your Nana's, went straight to Jaeger's. So.
No, well, not far off, to be honest.
Really?
Actually, yeah, man. Like, it actually, going back and thinking about it, the timescale, I was actually looking through old pictures that people had tagged me and stuff, trying to work out dates and that when I sent you that email yesterday.
Yeah.
And like, it was in a really short time. I think I'd been here, when I first came up here, I tried to look for work straight away. But something that my nana was kind of immediate about, like, if you're going to be staying here, you need to go and get a job, you need to get work. She's a foster carer, so I actually couldn't stay there for that long. I don't think that, obviously there's rules and stuff and they have to CBT check or whatever it is. Whoever's living in that house, if there's going to be foster kids in there and stuff. And obviously I'd gone through all the shit that I'd gone through, so probably not a good idea. So it's
you're kind of kryptonite to a CBR check.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Computer says no.
I know, yeah, proper. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I was so I ended up not being able to stay there for that long, to be honest, and I had to get a flat and stuff. In fact, actually, I was already at Jaeger's at that point. So the first job that I managed to get a track work apprenticeship, which was terrible. It paid me like 80 quid a week to work on the railway. So for 8 months, I think for the first 8 months of me being up here, so it was the back end of summer I came up here in 2011. And I think actually, it wasn't even that long. It wasn't. I was only up here a few months. So I landed that and then I stopped. I fucked it off in the April. I didn't even pass. I was like about a month or two from passing and I just fucked it off. I was like, I never want to do this.
Not for you.
So I actually told a bit of a fib to Jaeger's, which I did tell him 6 months down the line that, I hadn't, but I told him that I'd worked in a shop before as a barber, and I hadn't. I'd just self-taught. I taught myself when I was 14. I was confident and like I'd already previously applied for a job at the Turkish barbers. They had on my road about 4 doors up from where I'm at now, because my nana lives opposite my shop that I've got now, so we'll get to that. But yeah, so we kind of like own this part of Victoria Road. I've got me, the shop, my nana and my mum next door.
No way.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So she moved up from Leicester about 3 years ago in COVID, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll get to that. There's so I applied for a job there and they told me no because I looked too young. Now, obviously, now I'm in a position where I stand with a shop on there, the same road as them, charging twice as much as they're charging, which is a mad thing to think about. For me, it's a real, like, yeah, when I got that shop, it was a bit of a moment for me, to be honest. But, so yeah, like, I then applied for Jaeger's and they gave me the job straight away. I went in and took a modelling, cut the hair, and he gave me it straight away. And within about 6 months of me being there, I was doing patterns, and I was known for like doing it. They used to pass everyone on to me to do all the patterns. And then I think about 18 months after being there, someone I met up here, a good friend, Craig, his mum had a salon called Eye Candy in town. And I left to start my own business, and I rented a room within her salon, and that's where I started. And I was overdrawn. I didn't have a penny to scratch my house with. I mean, I was getting paid cash in hand there, legit on the books, but I was getting paid like percentage of what I was made. I think I was getting paid 60% of whatever I took in. So I was coming home I was a perfectionist as well, so I weren't the fastest barber. I'm still not now. Everyone knows that, but like...
Can I jump in on this story? I'm sorry, because I don't want to miss this point, because you're saying this point like it's just, common knowledge. What do you mean you were cutting hair at 14?
Like, at school, I started cutting hair at school.
Two questions. How, with what equipment, and who was letting you?
On my lunch. Because I was good at art, you see, at school. So me and my old mate, in fact, my old mate who came up to help with the shop, doing all the designs on the walls and stuff, me and him used to sit at school together and draw. So we never used to do any work. We used to just draw all over our worksheets and draw on people's hands and stuff, giving them like little tattoos and stuff. And like, so the people knew that I was good at stuff like this. I was always creative. So I started off doing patterns in school, and then obviously having to cut people's hair. I remember doing a couple of haircuts for like a couple of my girl mates' boyfriends in my bedroom at home at like 14. So
you just got your own equipment?
Yeah,
basically.
in fact, actually, oh my God, you've just really brought some back. I stole my first pair of clippers from TK Maxx.
No.
Actually.
What, 14?
Yeah, 14.
My man.
I can't believe that.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do, right?
I can't believe that.
That's
madness.
Maybe drop him an email and say, I've got that 50 quid for you.
Yeah.
Things have changed now,
Yeah. No way.
Shout out TK Maxx.
Yeah, shout out TK
And their
Maxx.
lack of security.
Yeah.
Thank God they have no security, because, you couldn't...
Oh, they did. That was actually where we last got arrested.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so, but, yeah.
So it was a common stomping ground for you,
enough of
TK
me
Maxx.
being a criminal.
Right.
That's done.
We've done that
done that chapter. So, 14... There was this place down called Tracks in Burley Community College, where I was at my high school. But down there, I went to 3 schools. You got your primary school, your high school, which is 7, 8 and 9, and then you like the college school, which was year 10, 11 and 6th form. And that was a school where all schools combined, so it was chaos. We had police monitoring the school all the time. We had a car there at all times. And it was quite a rough school, to be honest, but so we do what we wanted. I mean, I remember doing patterns in the fucking corridor.
Yeah.
Right,
so it was just free for all,
so
basically.
It was a bit wild, to be honest. But I started when I was 14.
Right, just freehanding, the very first cut you did, like, I'm trying to
It was terrible. It was fucking horrendous. I found it. It's on my Instagram.
You took a picture?
After this, I'm gonna get it so I can send it after.
Yeah, listen, at this point, we'll put a picture up of this. And you've got a picture of the very first.
I've got a picture of the first that you, oh my God.
Right. Right. Well,
this is not the standard I'm cutting at now.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can imagine.
No one confuse that.
Right. So, what I'm going to do, right, is we're going to have a break right here. So, to recap, there's been all this turmoil. You've escaped prison. You've came up here. You've learnt your craft a bit more through Jaegers. And you're about to set off on your own.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to have a quick break.
Yeah.
While we do, we're going to have a little word from our sponsor.
Yeah, cool.
And we'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you have a business? Thinking about starting one? Dash, the bespoke web design and branding experts. When you have a business that needs a professional online presence, when your current website is starting to look a little outdated and tired, when you have an idea and want to see it brought to life online, that's where Dash can help. Dash create bespoke websites built around your business and its requirements, from exceptional e-commerce stores to sell your products online to beautiful brochures showcasing who you are and what you do. The team at Dash will become an extension of your business.
You'll be assigned a dedicated team who will help guide and advise from the initial design brief all the way to the website launch. Not only that, Dash provide full aftercare to carry out any changes, alterations or updates quickly and efficiently. It's like having your very own personal web development team 365 days a year. Dash understands that in today's world, the right online image, exposure and representation is the key to success. Book in a free, no obligation consultation with one of their experts today to see how Dash can make your online vision an online reality. Just visit www.dashmedia.co.uk or search Dash Media on Google to find out more. Dash, the bespoke website and branding experts.
So, welcome back, people like us. We're with Mr. Sky Taylor. So, where we just left it before we went for a urine was that you've now moved to your nana's, right? You just mentioned something before our urine that your mum, your nana. I'm assuming that happened before the shop, that you lived over here, right?
So my nana had, she had the first house, and then she bought the second house. Did she buy that before I had the shop? I think she did. Yeah, so she had, I think the original plan was to knock them in together and make it one massive house, but that never happened. Yeah, so they had the two houses there, but my mum wasn't up here at this point. So
South Park.
Where was we at? I think, so I'd been at Jaeger's, hadn't I? We'd gone through that. I'd been at Jaeger's, set up my own shop. So yeah, so I was at Eye Candy for about a year, I think I was. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah, so I'd been at Jaeger's Eye Candy for about a year. And then my old boss at Jaeger's had a shop in Cockerton, which wasn't doing very well. So he sold me that business for £400. Big up Steve at Jaeger's, because, you know, like, you get me a lot of chances, and he'd without that I wouldn't be here. So huge respect for Jaeger's for helping me. I mean, when I decided to go off on my own, by the way, they were so supportive. Mandy at Jaeger's also lent me £300. I borrowed £50 off my nana for a pair of clippers at Boots and a plastic set of jaws at Wilkinson's, and Mandy gave me £300 to buy some signage for outside of the shop. I was overdrawn in the bank. I didn't have a penny, and that's when I went off to start my own business.
Wow.
So
how nice. So, like, you know, if you think about it, you're about to become their competitor, really.
Yeah.
And
in theory, yeah.
And this is all Jaeger.
Yeah.
What did you say, Stephen who?
Stephen Hunter at Jaeger's, yeah. Great people, lovely people. In fact, they're like the complete opposite of what I'm doing now. They're like they're traditional barbers, and they're like the cheapest. They compete to be like the cheapest in the town.
I've seen, don't they have a sign like saying like £4 for a haircut or something?
For a buzz cut, I think it's like £3.50.
For a buzz cut.
Yeah.
Big up the buzz cut.
Yeah, not half, man. It's mad. It's madness. So they're doing their own thing, do you know? And like, I've always spoke highly of them.
That's amazing.
And I would never become like, for me, this is what I mean. That's why I said in theory, because I compete with no one. I'm doing my own thing. I don't even look at what any other barber's doing in the town. I have no idea. They could be smashing it. They could have Ferraris, millionaire. I don't know, because I don't care, because it's their thing. It's like, I've tried to work with lots of barbers before, and that, and before there's anything, there's envy and jealousy, and you know, they try and work against you quicker than, and I think that's the same with that's not just barbers, it's like any industry. Do you know, if they're doing the same thing as you, they start getting the back up, and it's like, I'm not that at all. I'd rather, you know, grow and network people and just smash it, man. Like, there's enough in this world. If you just focus on what you're doing, you know, everyone could do it. It's when you start trying to chase what other people are doing and compete with what other people are doing that I think you end up tying yourself in a bit of a mess, a social mess, a mess where, you're more bothered about what other people are doing than what you're doing.
Mate, I've been guilty of it in the past, and it's a constant journey, and it's like trying to like improve myself. But I will hold my hands up now and admit there's been particular people who are in my town who know me and I know them, and I used to think I hated them.
Yeah.
And I actually realised over time, no, you don't hate them. You don't know them well enough to hate them.
Yeah.
You're actually jealous of them, which is a pretty shameful thing to be.
Yeah.
So, I know,
It's what you do with it, I think. I honestly think jealousy is something, what you do with it. I look at sometimes, like on social media and that, I mean, for an example, there's a place called Barberville in America.
Right.
And they came up on my feed and I looked at them and I thought, fucking hell, that is some setup. That is an amazing, and I mean, it's it's huge. It's like a big warehouse that converted. They have the cars drive into the barbershop.
No way.
Yeah, like it's top of the range. And there was a bit of jealousy there. There was a bit of envious. But it's what you do with it. Like, I'm not going, oh, fuck you, my shop's better, blah, blah. Like, I'm going, I want a bit of that. How did you do it?
Yeah.
And then I try and find out how to do it. It's like, it pushes me in the right direction. I don't let it defeat me. Like,
I guess that's the skill, isn't it? Jealousy and motivation, they might be related, you know what I mean? Like, they might be cousins of each other. If you can use or transfer that jealousy into not a toxic, negative thing where you're like, that's amazing. How do I want to get there. And then that can drive you on. I think that's something that some people might have it naturally, but I bet 99% of people don't. And I think if you don't...
They definitely don't, because it's something that you see in everyday life.
Yeah.
And there'll probably be times where, I don't know, I think I really try to not, like say, it's what... I think people are very quick to speak. I was 100% one of them people, by the way. And anyone that knows me knows I've been like that in the past. Mm. But I've kind of turned the tables, and I'm very different now. Like, I try and keep my mouth shut until I've digested whatever I'm feeling. So that's in any situation, whether it's jealousy, envy, whether I'm upset or whatever. I'll wait until I digest the information before I start blurting out or saying stuff that I'm probably going to regret saying.
I think that's a hard skill to learn, I think. And I think most people probably have that as well. I've been guilty of it.
I think that's probably come from years and years of fucking up.
Experiences.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Experiences, rough times, ups, downs, and maturity, the process of life, I guess.
Yeah.
How old are you, Sky?
I just turned 29.
Just turned 29.
Yeah.
Well, respect from me, mate, because at 29, I was an absolute little idiot. I was an absolute divvy when I was at 29. I'm now knocking 39, and I'm still trying to refine that process. So you sound like you've really took it, let's say, most of the way there.
Yeah, thank you.
No one's a finished article, right? But
No, definitely not, mate. Never.
So this, we've jumped, right? So... We're in Candy. What did you say it was called?
Eye Candy.
Eye Candy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was there for about a year. And then
was that Sky's Barbers?
So that was called. It was called. Was it called the Sky's Barbers brand at that point? Sky's Barbers Signature Barbering. Jesus, that is crazy. Sky's Barbers Signature Barbering. Actually, I am ADHD, mate, because I've changed the name of my shop so many times. Right. Like, it's ridiculous.
But do you know when you left Jaeger and you went to Cockerton with, big up Jaegers for that? Steve. What was that shop called? 'Cause that was your business then, right?
I think I kept the same name for that.
And that was?
Sky's Barbers Signature Barbering. And then when I moved from there, so this was a tiny little shop. I mean, it was a really narrow, I'm not even joking. It's probably, the whole shop is probably like the rectangle of this table.
Right. I'm
being serious. So it had the chairs on one side and you could literally just get behind the two chairs.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Where was it?
In Cockerton, in Darlington. Yeah, so do you know where it's now a laundry shop, a laundrette? It's next to Robino's. in between Robino's and Michael's Bakery.
Right.
And I had a tiny little shop there, yeah. I even had to go into the financial agency or whatever is next door to go and use their sink just to wash my hands.
No way.
So it was a nightmare, yeah. It was an absolute nightmare. And I was only there for about, I think, how much was it costing me? £53 a week or something.
£53 a week?
In rent, yeah. So it was a really good stepping stone for me. And I managed to get it busy. I ended up having people queuing out my door, mate. People driving from the other side of town to come see me. And that, within a year, I think where I'm at now used to be a barbershop called Harry's. And it used to be called Harry's Barbers, yeah.
This is the place.
Harry's on the window, like that big arch.
This is the place.
Where I'm at now.
Yeah, Victoria Road, yeah.
Yeah, so that building came available. My granddad, who obviously lives opposite, seen. And it's so weird because remember all the way through my childhood coming up to see my nana, looking out the bedroom window at that shop as a kid. So to have it and get it now was just the maddest thing ever. And being on the same side as a shop that refused me as well, which is...
Yeah. Is it the same
I get on
people?
with them, actually. I don't, and I try and help them. I've given them advice on what to do with their shop and stuff to try and break away from the, Kurdish, Turkish community and raise the prices and stuff. Didn't fucking listen, but...
No. No. That's
but
mad.
I got respect, there's no envy or nothing there.
It's again, that's another thing, to your credit that you've done, because if I'm being honest with myself, if I was you, trying to put myself in your shoes, right? So I was trying my best in life and I've been refused by these Kurdish barbers, right? Fast forward time, I'm now smashing it to bits, basically, absolutely knocking them out the ballpark. Would I have the substance to be the way you are? I don't think I would. I believe I would be F you,
Yeah.
And the fact that you're doing that and offering these people advice and there's obviously, you can see there's no malice in you. You've got no malice towards them. You've no hard feelings.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good trait, mate. It's a pretty good trait.
Like I say, mate, I'm just fully focused on what I'm doing. I mean, I think when you do put that attention and time into yourself rather than other people, there is no reason to you do not have the time or headspace to put that kind of thought into someone else because you're too fixated on what you're doing and your own vision. There's no time for me to hate on other people, to be honest, because it's a negative energy that I'm going to be carrying for fucking what reason? Do you know what I mean? It's not going to help anything I'm trying to do.
It sounds good, the way you saying it. It sounds, obviously that's right. What you're saying is correct, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? It
is, mate. It is. But then I think the people that don't have that kind of control over their emotions and stuff, this is why I train every day and reset myself and calibrate my mind and my body and, do this kind of high endurance training because I think every fucker needs it. I think this is why they have so much time to spend sat in their emotions and that because they're not doing these things.
When you got the place you're at now, the official Divergent Roadman store, were you called Divergent Roadman then or not?
No, so when I moved there, we rebranded to the Skies Barbers brand.
How old were you, if you don't mind me asking, when that happened?
So I set up when I was 18, so I would have been 20. Yeah.
So somewhere in the mix, guy, if you don't want to talk about this, then just say don't talk about it. But somewhere in this mix around this time, I understand you had some issues. Something happened.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that?
Yeah. No.
What was your tipple of choice?
It's, so it was... I thought all of my hard times were over when I came up here. And this next stage of my life was by far the hardest thing that I've ever been through. It was... it was a tough one because basically, so I'd been there a bit. I'd split up with my daughter's mum, and that's why one of the reasons why I ended up having that place, because that place came available at the same time as us splitting up and us having to move out of our house, which we were at near Cockerton at the time, and I remember that building coming up. My granddad put a note through the door to ask the landlord to get in contact with him, and he actually, my landlord, another shout out, because without him, he's been really understanding over the years as well, especially when I went through this period I'm about to talk about. He was very supportive, and yeah, I got that. So he actually chose me to have that place over a woman that was really well set up and stuff. So he gave me a chance as a young lad to take it on. I'd spent, so I think about 8 months after having that, I think I got back with my daughter's mum, and she lived there with me for a bit. Now,
in the shop?
In the flat above the shop.
Oh, right, you got the flat too, not just right, okay.
Half of the flat has now been converted for the shop though.
Right.
So she was in there with me, and we weren't in a great place, absolutely broke, struggling to make the rent every week.
Like clientele was down, basically.
I took on a lot. I took a massive risk and took on more than I think. And to be honest, I wasn't a businessman. I'm self-taught in everything I've done. I wasn't, in fact, I really thought I was a businessman. This is something that I hold my hands up to now, is that I had the attitude as well. Like, I'm doing it, I'm smashing it, but I wasn't really. Do you know, I was good at what I did, and I took a lot of risks, which got me into places. I'm 100% a risk taker, and I've got balls. I won't shy away from anything. At one point, I had nothing, so I'm not scared of losing shit. And so we were absolutely broken and she fell pregnant, and I wasn't happy being in the relationship. I just generally wasn't happy, and in myself, not just in the relationship. I just wasn't happy at that moment in my life, and I ended up in a real mess with drugs and drink. I drank a lot and I dabbled in and out. And, obviously at low times, you're always looking for something that's going to make you feel a bit better. And so things had come into play a little bit, over a few years. But basically, someone came into my shop. He was a drug dealer, pretty well known. And asked me if I'd teach him barbering. And so this drug addiction literally came to me. I didn't even leave my barber chair. I didn't leave the barber shop. He came to me and asked me if I'd teach him barbering. And I said, I had a look later on that night to see what the going rate was and that. And I think at the time it was about £2,500. And then he... So I said to him, £1,600, I do it. I've not done it before, so £1,600. The going rate's £2,500, so it gives me a bit of leeway in taking my time with it and stuff like that. I'll do it a little bit cheaper. He came in the next day, put £1,600 cash behind my desk and never spent a day in the shop. He invited me to his barber. He just gave me that, and invited me to his barbecue a couple of weeks later, and then I was knocking the gear out for him. After that, kind of, so I suppose in a way, looking back at it now, I was groomed, but at the time didn't feel like I was a young lad that boxed and I'd had a few scraps. When I first came to Darlington, obviously my head was in a mess, and the first thing I was known for up here was fighting before barbering, because I'd got into a couple of fights in the town that, and then before you know it, all the most popular lads in the fucking town want to fight us or do us in or don't like me or whatever. And so it started pretty rough, and obviously spending my first year here doing community service, I met all the wrong people on community service.
Naturally.
So it didn't take long to kind of stay away from that though. And like, yeah, so I ended up knocking the gear out.
From the shop?
Not from the shop, no. Like, it was mainly to kind of like mates and like people. By this point, obviously, I was quite popular, so I'd already known who was doing what.
You
And
had a
like,
good network.
yeah, I had a good network,
Easy.
so it was pretty easy, to be honest. And this was his plan. Like, I think looking back on it now, this guy got into a bit of trouble, and I was the perfect candidate. Really, I was young, I could look after myself, and I had a shop full of young lads that would buy the gear. So I was the perfect person to do it. Really,
Ideal.
and like, oh mate, I ended up just hooked on it. I think probably struggling, not understanding my ADHD and stuff as well, because it's only in recent years that I started to study this, which is now, by the way, anyone with ADHD, underlying ADHD, can take up to 10 years off your life. And undiagnosed ADHD can actually take up to 10 years off your life because of the stress it brings of not understanding it. I've just read a book called ADHD Explained. Anyone thinks they've got ADHD needs to read it. Teach you how to use it as a superpower rather than a weakness. It does not bother me anymore. I feel like I've got an ability now, not a disability. Do you know? It's not something that's it's not a problem anymore. It's not a mental health issue that is controlling my life. It's something that I'm being able to use to empower it. So I would advise anyone to go and do the exact same thing and understand it. But yeah, I literally ended up on it every single day for 8 months.
It was every day.
Every single day for 8 months. I was bleeding out my arse and nearly died off it. Bleeding, blowing shit out my nose. My lass at the time, so my daughter's mum, she, witnessing it all, damaging her, breaking her, do you know, at the time. This is the one thing that it's a hard thing for me to talk about, because it's like, it was put someone through that, and like, it was in the first year of my daughter's life, so it was it was tough. And that it is. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, mate, the fact that what's happened to you there is probably a lot of people's stories. I mean, you won't be suffering alone. That stuff, that white powder, is the devil.
It really is.
It is literally the devil. Similar to you, I mean, I didn't have a daughter or a child at the time, but I've had my own. People who've listened to this podcast for a while will heard me talk about it. But let's say I know what you're going through. I went through it.
Yeah.
And you don't know it's a problem at the time. And it isn't until you look back, you realise how much of a problem it was.
Oh.
So I don't think you should, of course it probably hits hard and stuff, but, this is the world we're in now. I mean, it's so accessible. Everybody's got a phone number in the phone where they can have it dropped off like that. And
it's so dangerous. Like, people do not understand. Like, it will grab you. It will take you. Hard times are inevitable. And, you've got to be building yourself. This is why I believe that everyone should be training every day, because your body needs it. And you need to be building yourself up for when these hard times come. You need to make sure that you're able to deal with it. Now, if you're getting on it once every week, 2 weeks or whatever, and it's fine, it's all laughs, and then it starts becoming every weekend, or even if it was just once a month, but something bad happens in your life and you start getting on it more, it will take you. When a bad time comes, which are inevitable, and you're enjoying it and you think you're enjoying it, it will take you, and it will destroy your life. It will take everything away from you. It will manipulate your mind, so you become a different person. So you stop caring, you become emotionless, you start getting nasty and aggressive when you don't get it, or when things don't go your way. And like, it's such a dangerous drug. Like, I'm not anti-drug at all. I think if some things, like if you smoke a little bit of weed and you're doing it in the right way, and you're going out and you're going hiking and you're having a joint up in the fucking mountains and you're walking, you whatever, I haven't got a problem with that. Like, I think there's far worse things that you can be doing in the world, but that is the one thing that, like, stay away from it.
To be honest, Guy, I think you and I are cut from the same cloth, and I think those people you've just explained, that's the other side, because Russell Brand talks about it being an addict. An addict doesn't, just because you're addicted to cocaine, for example, doesn't mean, like, that doesn't define you. It's not the cocaine, it's the addiction. You are an addictive person.
Yeah.
And I think when you've got that personality trait, I've only recently sort of worked that out, that's what it is. That I am an addict. When you go all the way back through life,
it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it's some of the things I've been addicted to have been good things.
Yeah.
But then some things have been bad things. And it's a constant pattern of addiction.
Yeah.
And people like me and you, and probably, hundreds of millions of other people like us that are addicts, we can't dabble.
No, 100%.
It has to be nothing. It has to be absolutely bone dry. That's the only way, I believe. Or you've still got a foot in. I know people, you sort of painted a picture of somebody I know that, somebody I'm very close to, actually. He's what I would call a functioning addict, where he's an every week guy, right? Every Saturday, without fail, he'll do it. And that on paper, doesn't seem that bad. You're like, look, he works, he earns plenty of money, like, he's got a nice house, like, he holds relationships, all good. But like you say, there's you pointed something out which is interesting, and this, when you said it, I was like, yeah, that's him. As soon as something happens, whether it be an argument with this person's partner, whether it be a stress from work, whether it's something that is a stress, that's what happens. Immediately, revert back, let's get off it, get off it. And then it can happen on Wednesday, it can happen on Monday. Yeah. Yeah. And that's there's two ways it can be bad. Like, obviously, if you're smashing it every day, it's like, you don't need it. It's not hiding, it's straight up bad. It's just whichever way you look at it. But those other people that function on it, it's probably just,
They're the people that end up dead.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
They're the people that end up, when it's happening behind closed doors, and like, they're just,
secret,
pretending it's fine, everything's fine, it's normal, but really they're just, just pop to the loo, mate. Having a snoot, like, they're the people that end up dead, mate.
In a way, I bet you're grateful that yours was like you're evidently like an all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
Evidently.
Yeah.
So, in a way, you must feel a little bit lucky that yours was like, bang, 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 this absolute 8-9 months of fucking chaos and this big crash, and then out the other end. Yeah. Because that's helped you. Now you can look back.
Was saying that, like, I actually relapsed. It didn't just stop. It took, like, I think 4 or 5 years of actually relapsing. Keep trying, mate. Because, so, during that 8-9 months, me and, I think when I was with the band's mum, I think we used to have a little £10 bet and stuff on like slots and stuff, or tombola or whatever. And I actually developed a gambling addiction, but it would only be whenever I got on it. And when I got on it, this is the maddest thing ever. There was a time where I won 100 grand. Yeah, mate. So this is mad. So I've gambled about 150 grand. I've lost about 150 grand. So I've seen those numbers in my account.
Wow.
I'm going to screenshot some bank statements and send them to you so you can pop them up. I'm not bothered.
Right. If you don't mind me asking, how did you come across 100 grand in betting?
I just used to bet. I used to do £750 spins, and like, I'd win some stuff. I won 11 grand twice.
Wow.
Blew that. The biggest amount I ever won was 100 grand. And I was actually, I was on the session when I won it. I was sneakily doing spins, and I nearly had a fucking heart attack. And like, honest.
Think you were tripping out?
No, I knew what was happening. I knew what was happening. But like,
was it on the spins?
Yeah, £750 spins, yeah. and won 100 grand, and seeing it in the second lap, I was like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Like, it was heavy. Yeah, it was heavy. And the next morning, I remember waking up and telling myself, this is it. This is my chance. This is it. I'm not going to touch the fucking gear again. I'm not going to, do you know, I had to walk around. I went for a walk at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd been on it the last night, and I got up because I couldn't, I had to digest it. Anyway, 3 months later, I had nothing. Gambled the full lot. I remember sitting there one night having 40 grand and putting it to like nothing, going down and down and down and down and down, thinking, right, it's okay, Sky, I can still get a fucking car. Going down and down, going, right, fucking hell, I'm up 15 grand, what have I done? Like, and then gone. So I've seen all this stuff. I've had my daughter, I've had, you know, family, and this is not understanding ADHD. This is like the whole and this constant years and years of getting into all these problems, and ADHD driving me into a hole, climbing back out of it, and then going back, and it's just that whole repetitive process literally led me to the point where I could have done so much with that money, and it took me a long time to overcome the fact that I had that kind of money. I had a daughter, I could have changed her fucking life right at that instant, and I fucked it all up, and I, rather than there was lots of things I could have done. I could have opened up to people, I could have told people, and because I spent my whole life, I think, not telling people anything, I was literally in the most challenging, hardest position I think I'll ever have to be in, and like the most confusing, not like I didn't understand it. I was in a serious drug addiction, gambling addiction, I was drinking loads, and I'd had this kind of money and fucking blew it in that space of time and lost it again. So I've lost 150 grand, but I've seen those numbers in my account. So the drive now in everything that I'm doing, I've seen those numbers, and I will have those numbers again, but in the right way.
You will, sir. You won't be alone, Sky. Not 100 grand, but I'm speaking. You know, there's me and you speaking here. Similar thing. The money that's passed through my fingers, and I've blew. Yes, not. I haven't done 40 grand in a night on the spins, but you know, you talk about the 150 grand in your bank and it's gone, fam. Like, if I look back over the past 10 years, probably millions have been through my bank. You know, and what have I got to show for it? Nothing. I haven't done anything substance with it. You know, I just. Not literally, but, well, sometimes put it up my nose. For the first few years, put it up my nose, pissed up the wall, Versace this, Versace that, you know, and you can look back on them things and with regret and thingy, or you can use it as a lesson and lose it to stride. I'm grateful I did that. That's the truth, and you should be grateful you did that. You should be grateful because
it took a really long time to swallow it.
Some people,
so long.
That's how some people learn.
Yeah,
you know, some people learn. Everybody learns different. Some people are lucky enough to just be given advice. Yeah, you know, where they can just be said, "Don't do this," and they don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. You know, no. Some people have to learn another way. Yeah. You know, nah, mate. Like, fam, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Easy come, easy go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it doesn't now. Now it doesn't bother. Like, it's very rare to talk about it.
Cool story though.
It's mad. Like, it is actually mad, but it was really, you know, and it's made me learn a lot, to be honest, because money I have no respect for. People look at me as if like I'm doing well and stuff. I don't care about money. It's never been there for me. I've had in Darlington, I'd also, something that I kind of like flew past earlier is that I'd got kicked out so many houses in Darlington because I couldn't afford them. So I'd built up debt. I'm still paying off debt now. So throughout all this time, I'd had debt from bills, from houses that I'd had in the past. I think I've had about 10 different, I've lived in 10 different properties while I've been up here. So like getting kicked out of some and stuff, building up all this debt, yet still trying to be this person that everyone thought I was. In the background, I was still having to deal and carry all this weight of trying to be this person. So it was like, man, it's just been constantly fucking tough. Like, and now I'm at a point, like, I'm paying my debt. I'm still paying the debt, but we're nearly there. I'm almost there. I'm almost done and washed away with all this past. And like, and this is, when we go live at the end of this month, this is going to be the start of my journey. This was kind of like, I feel like everything that's happened has just built me up to be the person that I need to be able to achieve the vision that I've always had. Do you know, I would never have been able to, I visualize crowds of people in front of me. I visualize being in different countries. I visualize Divergent Roadman being on huge signs, and like all the shit would never happen if I wasn't the person who I am now, and I wouldn't be the person that I am now if I hadn't gone through all of the stuff that I've been through. So it's, yeah, there's a couple of things that I would go back and change, because I don't, I like, hurting people is not something that I want to do. And if I could, and I know that I've hurt people in the past, so there's a couple of things that I would 100% change, because I've permanently caused some hurt towards people. But apart from that, the rest of it, never. Because the 150 grand that around about, I think, that I've gambled in total is it is what it is. And it's 100%, like I said, it's going to push me to do the things that I need to do in the future. So,
the journey is, I'm going to disagree with you on what you said. You just said that soon it's going to be the start of your journey. No, fam, I disagree with you. I believe your journey started way back when you were a kid. That's when the journey started. Granted, this might be the chapter in the journey that you're excited about.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that it's everything that's happened, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. I believe it all is forming part of something. So that's just my opinion. But who am I to say? I'm not you.
No, definitely. I get that.
I listen to a guy. I say read. I can't read because I'm also the R word. I can't read properly. So, but I listen on audiobooks to a guy called Jim Rohn. I'm gonna I wish I was smarter, but he basically, I'll butcher his saying, but there's something like the reward. Like, let's say you get your 100 million quid, right? Let's say that's what we all want, right? That's what we're all messing about for. We all want this 100 million quid. We all want this financial freedom, I guess what it's called.
Yeah.
Like, the reward, the valuable thing in that isn't the 100 million. It's what you've had to become along the way to get it. That's the valuable thing. Because if you're a person through blood, sweat, and tears, and graft, and experience, and lives, and this and that, and if you're that person that has scored that 100 million quid, that wasn't a lottery ticket, that wasn't handed to you, that you've gone out and worked your way through to get, you have been through stuff. You've had to do what 99.999% of people didn't do.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You didn't start like that. You were born as a baby, pissing and shitting yourself,
yeah,
like the rest of us. And some people who were born like that end up waste of spaces.
Yeah.
And some people end up just living normal lives.
Yeah.
And some people end up getting the 100 million.
Yeah.
And the valuable thing in that 100 million is not the 100 million.
No.
It's what you've become.
The journey.
It's what you've had to grow. The person
like
you've
the
become.
money, people are so obsessed with numbers. And like, money's just a fucking ticket, mate. All it is a ticket to opportunity. When you get older, like, I can guarantee that, and I've seen so many people come to the end of their lives and tell you the same thing, that when you get to that point, you're not bothered about money. I don't want to be bothered about it now. It's important. It's really, really important. You need it to do all the things you want to do. But it shouldn't be the reason why. It shouldn't be like, it's got to be part of the reason why, but it should not be the reason why, because it doesn't, I think it teaches you the wrong things. Like, I was away at the weekend, we were on a job, and we went to this, we went to this, this restaurant. It was so money driven, it was unbelievable, and I couldn't bear it. Like, everyone just showing off the cars and all this, and like, it's not for me. Like, I think it teaches people the wrong things, to be honest. I think if it is the reason why, I think it's the wrong thing.
Mate, money's evil. But as Del Boy once said, money isn't everything, but it takes a sting out of being poor.
Yeah, 100%.
You get me?
It's so important. Like, it brings opportunities. It's like a ticket to opportunity. So
yeah, man. It is. Well, thank you for sharing that, mate. I knew through some of your posts and stuff, I knew that I'd seen that word come up, so I knew there was something. I just wasn't sure whether you wanted to talk about it or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. Look, where we are now, look, the Divergent Roadman Limited, right?
Yeah.
First of all, because to make that, like, there's so many things that you're up to now. Like, do you know, you like, people say, how many plates you're spinning? Like, when I read about you, I'm like, man's not juggling plates. Man's got a dinner set.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's got forks, spoons, little plates, big plates,
14-piece standing set.
Literally, fam. You know them posh people who have like the 3 forks? I don't know what they're for. You got like a big and a little one thingy and for different courses and shit. You know what I mean? You know them people? Like, you've got the whole bazaar, like with the patterns on and everything. You know what I mean? Like, fam, tell us about it. Like, what's going on now in your world? What's happening?
Do you know what? It's become really, it's not like, it's been hard in the past, but I feel like it's become pretty smooth now. Like, I've got my life built up, my whole booking system's based around me being able to box and do my media production on the morning. So I've got like 9 till 11 o'clock is my media production, and then 11 till 6 is my barbering, then I go boxing. Then, I train on the morning as well. So it's like boxing, media production, barbering, boxing, home. And then, like, that's just my day. So it's like I'm managing it. Do you know, I'm being able to do it now. And we've worked hard over this last year. Took a year out. I haven't posted for a year, so we've been completely inactive. Obviously, I spoke about this with you on the way here, that... one of the reasons why when I went through drug addiction and stuff, and I have fucked a lot of people about, I was not turned up for appointments. I was a nightmare, mate. Like,
We all have, brother.
Yeah,
We all have.
I'll hold my hands up. Do you know, there's been times, it's been really tough times, and I've let people down, and I'm not proud. That's one thing that I'm really not proud of, and I've tried to make up for. Do you know, and if there is anyone that I've seriously let down, then reach out to me, because it's something that I 100% want to make up for and give you that time back. Do you know? Because I would hate for anyone to be watching me and thinking, oh, he fucking fucked me about, or he let me down. Do you know? I'm always here to you know, repay that and make sure that it's, because time is valuable, and this is something that it hit me quite hard, and only recently is like, why is my time more valuable than others? And when I asked myself that, it made me think it's something that I see in a completely different light now. So it's it's something that I'm pretty ashamed of, to be honest, is messing people around. So one of the things I wanted to do in this year is, I lost a lot of clients and stuff due to like the drug addiction, not turning up and stuff like that. This was years ago. So this past year, I wanted to, whilst doing the work on the shop, I didn't want to do any marketing at all. I wanted to be fully booked by the time this project was done. By the time we go live, I wanted to be fully booked by word of mouth only. So, which I am. I'm fully booked. People are booking like weeks in advance now, a week in advance for the weekends at the very least. And, you know, people are booking. I've got bookings 2-3 weeks ahead. So we've managed to do that. So it's a really good feeling and having all these people coming to the shop and loving the experience now. We have such an amazing setup, such a therapeutic place for people to go and let go. People, since doing the shop, we've got the water fountains in the shop and stuff, and people are like so relaxed. Like, I've never seen in this space of time, like in the last 3 months, so many clients really struggling to keep their eyes open. It wasn't like that before, so it's showing that we've done the right thing and the setting's perfect. And like, so I'm fully booked now, and we haven't done one bit of marketing over the last year, and it's been exactly a year since we last posted, and that'll be coming up to now. The 1st of July will be when we go live again, and it'll be exactly a year since we were last active.
For anybody listening, we'll put a few pictures up of the shop now, and what it looks like. South Pole, you make a note of that. We'll stick some pictures up, because I've seen a few glimpses, not like all of it, but I've seen a few glimpses, and it looks like It's nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the idea.
Yeah,
right?
definitely, mate.
Yeah,
It was
man.
called the Pandora Moon Project. So the idea I had was trying to make like bioluminescent plantation in the shop with lunar space kind of vibe. So it's a really unique concept, but it worked.
How do you do the hair in like the dark?
We don't. The lighting's perfect in there.
Really?
Yeah, it's perfect. So it's one spotlight over one chair, and I've got really good lighting. I've even like modified it, so I've taped around the outside of the light, so there's no light spill, so it just comes straight down over the chair, and then the luminous glow is just around the outside. So like the lighting's perfect. It's perfect.
Well, listen, let's get some pictures because I want to, just not even for the viewers. For
Yeah,
me,
for
I
you.
want to see. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see. So you Divergent Roadman Limited, is that the umbrella company that covers everything?
Everything,
So that's
yeah.
the barber, the digital.
Yeah.
Is the perfume same company as the products?
So the aftershaves fall under Divergent Roadman Grooming. So our branches are DR Digital, which is obviously Divergent Roadman Digital, the media production.
That's media
We've got DR Teeth Whitening, which is obviously teeth whitening. We've got Divergent Roadman Grooming, and then DR Street Sport, which is our custom boxing glove brand and sportswear. So yeah, all of these things you'll be able to check them all out on our website when that goes live, and see what they're all about. But we try and bring we try to make everything that we do unique and stand out as its own thing. You know, we've got so much that we want to do. These businesses have been set up for so long, you know, like for like 5 years or something. These
Really?
other ones, yeah, honestly. And I tried to make them work before and they didn't. And it was because I wasn't ready. So in this year that I've taken out, I've done lots of education. I've been studying my ADHD over the last couple of years. I've been studying marketing so that I can make sure that all these work myself before I bring another marketer in, so that I can start running ads and doing my A/B tests and stuff myself, so I can actually see how the audience reacts to our stuff, and I can get it to a certain level with my own knowledge and my own understanding before I bring someone on. So then I can let them go from there, do you know? But they're all moving now and they're all working well. This is before we've even gone live with our website, you know, or done any marketing at all. So I'm extremely confident with what's to come. You know, it's a very educated approach now.
So the barbering pretty much speaks for itself. It cuts hair, as does the teeth whitening, as does the grooming.
Yeah.
Right? It's barbering type products. It's alcohol, perfume. You say
They do
aftershave.
really well, actually, to be honest. Every time we stock in the shop, especially, they sell out straight away.
Straight out.
Straight out.
A lot of the business makes sense, but the media side, what does that do exactly?
So with the media side,
And it's DR Media, is that right?
DR Digital.
DR Digital.
So this is, I'm glad we've got to this bit. So I'd like to introduce now my business partner, who is a very good friend of mine, Jordan Dent.
Shout out Jordan.
He's a great guy, very like me in a lot of ways, completely the opposite in others. You know, in fact, we couldn't be any more different, but we share so many of the same likabilities. You know, like we spend a lot of time together, to be honest. He's been on the scene now for like 3 years. He helps me with Divergent Roadman as a whole. So, you know, he works hard, and we create some amazing pieces of content. We like to specialise in the creative side of media production, so we do a lot of homages, you know. We just recently did like a Star Wars one for Echo 3 coffee shop in Darlington. We've done like a Fight Club homage for Sensei MMA. We've done a couple ourselves, like
I saw the
Stranger Things homage as well, where that was crazy, man. That was like a $2.5 grand production, that, and we had like full CGI characters in it. He specializes in CGI animation,
Right.
So we're really taking things to the next level with the media production. We've been extremely patient. There's no rush into what we're doing. We've been really patient over the last couple of years. We've had a plan, we've stuck to it, and now we're ready to kick it on. We're ready to go. We're ready to take on clients at digital. We've systemized our full business. We have systems for everything from inquiries to being able to send out proposals. We have document systems, social media management systems. We have literally everything. The process is so smooth now, so we can literally sign jobs over the phone. We can change contracts live and get those jobs underway extremely quick and more efficiently than we've ever been able to do. So literally everything could just run now. So yeah, I'm in a position where I'm spinning all these plates, but I've got a fucking machine that's doing it for me. Do you know, I'm not holding these plates up anymore. We've took time out to do things properly and to gain all this understanding and this knowledge that I should have done earlier on. Well, I suppose I didn't have the time because of all the things that, you know, the hurdles of life. And so I took this year out, about a year and a half ago. I realised that we ain't going to be able to make all this happen if we don't go back to the roots and systemize everything and learn things we need to learn about business and about the fundamentals of like business management and stuff. And yeah, here we are a year later. I've done courses. We've stripped the business to its backbone, you know, and like rebuilt it, completely systemized. So yeah, we're ready to go, man, with everything.
How would you handle everything? You've got so many, as we say, plates spinning.
I have to give a lot of God, I can't think of the word.
Credit.
That's exactly it, to my friend Jordan and to the people that I've got around me, because in my boxing, especially, like my gym, like my coach Mike. My coach Mike is a very good listener to me. He understands me, he knows me inside out now, and he helps when my emotions and my ADHD gets a bit erratic. Like, it's he helps ground it, and he helps me like kind of channel he helps me work out my options in what I'm trying to do, rather than just going, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Kind of helps me break it down a little bit. And yeah, my friend, my business partner Jordan, he's always ears open. He's here half of the week. He's pretty much lived with me for half the week for the last three years. So we're really good mates. We watch films and complete film fanatics together. Do you know? So we're always fully endorsed in creativity in the media. So he's a massive help as well. But yeah, like as well as me, like managing stuff myself, I'm constantly working on myself. I'm training all the time, and yeah, I'm always trying to become a calmer, better person at dealing with things. Do you know?
How important has exercise been in all of this?
Without boxing, and especially my little girl, but training, even just training, I think it literally saved me at points. Like,
same. I went through some shit a long time ago, and if it wasn't for exercise, my life would look very different now, if at all. That's what I would say. And it's reached a point where possibly it's the addictive side, the obsessive side.
Yeah, 100%.
That's coming back into play.
That's why I do realise when I'm preaching this, it is easier, I think, for me to be obsessed with training. I mean,
same.
I have done it since I was 14. Like, I've trained, I found my reason early, and I'm grateful for that, now. But yeah, for some people, I suppose, that are less motivated and struggle with the get up and go, yeah, I can imagine it's hard, but you need to find that. What I say to people is, you need to be, if you're not happy with where you're at, be prepared to put in 3 months of hard work go and buy a plan. Don't just go in the gym willingly. I think that not knowing what you're going to do with no plan and just think you're going to get in shape and that, because you won't. It is so specific. There's so much to learn about training, and I think if you don't have a plan and you don't get a plan of someone that knows what they're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, I think you'll bore yourself quicker than you'll see results to become obsessed. So if you get a plan and you go and work hard for 3 months, that will be enough time to change your fucking life forever.
Yeah.
You will see enough results at the end of that 3 months to become obsessed. All you got to do is put your shoes on and, take that first step. But everyone needs it in your life, man.
Yeah, man.
Everyone does. People need to be fit and healthy. You're not going to get the best out of your life if you don't do these things.
But you know what? For even those people, I mean, that's like you say, a plan. But it doesn't even have to be that deep. If it depends where people are. Like, to have a plan. The picture I get is somebody who's an active person already, and they're going to try and get better. Okay, let's wind it back a bit. What if people are 15 stone overweight? They're literally never ever they literally just sit down and eat sweets all day. Like, they're not going to start off with a plan and just go for a walk. Just literally every day say, right, okay, for 30 days I'm going to walk for an hour. Then for the next 30 days I'm going to walk, but I'm going to do a few 5-minute runs. Build it up and be patient. That's what I would
100%.
say. I know a lot of people that one particular person.
The reason why I say this, I think, is because as a barber and having that many people sat under me and going having this conversation every day, pretty much, or at least a few times a week, for the whole time I've fucking done it, is that people fall off so much. They do it for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and fall off because it's not giving them enough. And that's why I've now concluded with, I think the best, because I mean, my S&C coach, Steve Gordon, 50 quid, I can get a plan to do in the gym of myself. It's 50 quid, it's an investment into yourself. Without that plan, the results that I would get would be significantly different if I just went in there not knowing what I'm doing. Whether you're 15 stone or 8 stone ripped to death, I still think if you don't know what you're doing, I think getting a plan that is going to guarantee, if you stick to the plan, that's going to guarantee you results. Getting those results is super important at the beginning stage of your training journey, because without the results, you're just going, and I don't think it's giving you. For someone that doesn't want to be there anyway, it's like they're going to fall off.
Of course, yeah, no, I agree with that totally.
But yeah, 100%. I know what you're saying. Like, you do have to be patient, and I think taking the first step is the most important. And if you've been in the house and you're not doing anything, you're a couch sloth and you eat loads of shit, getting up and fucking starting by walking every day is gonna change you. But yeah, 100%, it's something that everyone needs in their life.
People who don't, I've got people around me that both exercise a lot, and I've got people around me that don't exercise at all.
Yeah.
And I preach what it does, not for your body, what it does for your mind.
Yeah.
I've always been somebody that is sort of trying to stay ahead of the black cloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I stop going to the gym, so like if I'm training every day, it's like I'm always walking, right? And the black cloud stays behind. But if you ever don't go to the gym, it just comes over you. Yeah. And you like to get back out of it, and I try and say that to people, like, the people who don't train don't understand. Look, training will not fix your problems. Yeah. What training will do is help you deal with them better.
Yeah,
they will still be there. What you're scared of now, that's going to be there after the gym. Yeah. What you hate about your life, that's still there. But it will, even if it's at 10%, it just might just take the sharpness off it.
Yeah, 100%.
Where you might go from, I can't fucking deal with this, to, this is hard. That's a big improvement. Yeah. That can change. Look, we probably billions of people before us have preached it, but just keep preaching it. Everybody at any level can do some form of exercise, apart from obviously Stephen Hawkins ain't doing much, obviously, but bar that, do you know what I mean? Like, bar that, like, if you can get up and you can walk down the street, you've got a base. to build on from there. And
that is what I always say to people. I say, unless you're physically disabled to do so, everyone should be training.
100%, man.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, man. You know, even
if you want the best out of your life, if you want the most you can ever get out of your life, whatever that's going to be, you will only ever get that if you're in the best condition, physical, mental, in physical state and mental state. Like, you will not get the most out of your life if you don't do these things.
And sometimes, like chicken before the egg thing, you sat on the couch now.
Which one actually came first, chicken or the egg?
God knows, mate. KFC will tell you.
I actually don't know.
No. One of them did anyway. I'd go chicken, innit? I'd go chicken.
Yeah, I think 'cause it's got to be a chicken to lay the egg.
Yeah, it has to be chicken.
Evolution, chicken, egg.
Yeah, I'm going chicken.
Yeah.
But what are we saying? Exercise. I don't know what I was saying. But anyway, exercise is eggs, chickens. Where was I going with that?
Exercise.
Did I mention the chicken? Did I talk about chicken and eggs?
Yeah, you said I don't know how you brought that in.
Fuck knows. Where'd that come from?
Where are we?
No, God knows, But anyway, look, no, that was it. I've remembered chicken before the egg. There'll be people sat on the couch now who've never been in the gym in their life, and what they're waiting for is they want, I wish I had a more positive mind to enable me to go to the gym. Fam, go to the gym and you'll have the positive mind. It's the other way around.
100%.
Don't wait for the positive mind. Go out. Yeah, the first fucking 2 weeks is going to be minging, mate.
Yeah.
Minging. It's only 2 weeks. You do anything for 2 weeks. Go for 2 weeks. Batter yourself. Do as much as you can, whatever level you're at. I'm not talking about Hercules. Like, no. Just do what you can. Build up a sweat.
100%.
Do what you can. It could be just doing steps, do squats, stand up, squat for an hour.
Yeah.
When your legs hurt, stop 5 minutes, squat, keep doing it. Go until you cannot do it no more, no matter what level you're at. You do that for 2 weeks, then sit back on the couch, and I bet your mind's a bit different. Not saying your world will change, but you'll feel a bit different, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
No,
it's true.
100%. No, I'm with you on that, 100%.
So, right, we're in the process. This is what I call this is the wind down now.
Yeah.
So, a couple of questions. And you make it up, right? What's the future look like?
The future.
Let's do it twofold. What does 10 years look like and 15 years look like?
10 years.
5 and 15. Do 5 and 15.
Well, whenever I visualize where I'm going to be, we always end up overdoing it. So I always end up in a better position than what I thought I was going to be in.
Not many people say that.
No, I know. So I really don't know where we're going to be at, to be honest. That is my honest answer. We've got so much in store for this year. We've got exhibitions. We're going to be flying all over the world, to be honest, over the next couple of years to barbering exhibitions. I went quiet with all this stuff in the past, the drug addiction, all this. Before that, when I first got to shopping at Victoria Road, I was travelling all over with Buxy on behalf of them to cut on stage and stuff for them all over the country and that. And then when all this stuff happened, I kind of my passion for barbering died a little bit. And now it's the highest it's ever been. So I want to get out there. I want to show people what we're doing. We have one of the most unique barbershop concepts, which is one chair, one barber, one barbershop experience like no other. Do you know, I've aimed to kind of stimulate all 5 senses, smell, taste. We've got some really good nice snacks in there and stuff. The water, hearing the waterfall while you're getting your hair cut, and we've got an amazing sound system in there. So I've tried to stimulate. We've got the facial and the hot towels and all that, so stimulating all 5 senses, which I think is a key point in marketing.
Like a barbershop on steroids.
It is a barbershop on steroids.
Fucking love it,
100%, man.
Innit? Or magic mushrooms, one of the two.
Both.
Yeah,
both.
Imagine that. Ooh, that's
both.
a good night, innit?
It's a barbershop on both. But it's amazing. And this next year is... But just from now, this is where I've always dreamt of being. So when I said earlier about this being my starting point, that's what I mean. It's this whole this is what I've dreamt about, is getting to this stage. And now we're here. I just feel overwhelmed. I feel like a different person. I feel chilled. I feel like I just want to give so much back. There's so much I want to do, and there's so much we're going to do over this next couple of years. We're really going to chuck ourselves out there, and we're going to be attending like exhibitions for everything we do, digital media production. We just want to show our faces everywhere and do what we love to do. And then whatever happens, as long as we're getting paid to do what we love to do all the time, then I'm happy. I've made it. I've got my little girl. I can go for food when I want. I can, I'm happy. I'll get a holiday once a year, and we get to keep driving this brand in an upwards direction from where it's at now. I'm happy. That's all. That's all I'm bothered about.
You're a busy guy. Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do?
What's your reason?
I think my biggest reason now is my little girl. Is giving her, stuff that I didn't have, and giving her, just the time and guidance. And my little girl, she's an amazing character. She's so close to me now. Like, I have her every weekend. I'm good mates with her mum now. Her mum's happy with her. She's got another kid. She with her partner now. I get on with all of them. Things
nice.
are really good. Things are really good. My little girl is such an amazing little girl. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I talk to her mum all the time. Like, we actually get on really well. I'd say that we're mates now. So things are really good. The legacy as well, 100%. The fear of having this life, being given this life, and being here to not do anything with it, to not try and make this world a little bit better of a place,
Terrifying, right?
Yeah, that's
Terrifying
what I mean.
prospect.
That is what I can't just float through life. I'm not one of those people. And this is the reason why I do it all. It's my boxing as well. Like, I also have a vision, which I'd like to quickly say, is like, I want to go pro in the couple of years. I'm getting all the experience. I'll fight anyone in the amateurs, the highest level, open class. I just want the most experience. I don't care about losing. I took a risk and boxed that lad that had 60 fights. Didn't get the nod, but it was like fight the night. I got more recognition and exposure off that, and I got more of a buzz off that than I did any of the fights I've ever won. So I'm happy to do that as long as I gain the experience. I'll do that for this next couple of years. Then I'll go pro. And then when I go pro, I'm going to brand myself and show a lot of these boxers that are born with talent, they've been in the gym since they were fucking 6, how to promote yourself as a boxer. And I'm going to go out with no sponsors other than me. I'll be sponsoring myself. So the only logos that are going to be on my shorts are our brands. And I think it's going to be quite it's going to be a big moment. That
one thing I've definitely learned about you in this past couple of hours is that I have never met somebody that has a natural self-promotional instinct.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that can come across wrong, that you're sure. No. You have, what's that word? You've just got it. And when you sort of said that boxer thing there, whether you make it or not, I don't know, whether you be any good. But I imagine for a moment, okay, let's imagine Sky is good enough, right, to be on the scene, and IFL TV start picking him up, and he starts ending up on there. When I know some, boxers, who really are earning, not world class, but they're earning decent money doing shows and stuff. That's what they're lacking, a lot of them, is this self-promotion. And I imagine you in that place.
The charisma.
Yeah, you in that place, and I was like, oh yeah. Like, oh yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't.
Because one thing that I know, I'm boxing at a good level. I 100% don't believe that I'm the best. And I don't believe I box at a lightweight 54 key, so I've got pretty good odds at doing all right because there's not that many people, do you know? And I'm tough as fucking nails, mate. Like, so I'm confident I can get in there with anyone. That's not, do you know? It's more about to kind of go with the brand. I think people will find that interesting, and it's the entertainment side. I like the entertainment side of the pros because I think I'd be a good talker, and like it just kind of all ties into one vision for me. So wherever it goes is wherever it goes. I just know what I'm setting out to do, and we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really grateful for where I'm at, and yeah, I'm really, really excited about the future. It's cool.
Before we do, we have talked about this a few times. I know we've mentioned them. I think it's proper to sort of re-mention them. There's some people that you said have been crucial and helpful along this journey so far.
Yeah.
Just do us a favour, mate. Just give them one more shout out. This, digital content lasts forever. You know.
Yeah,
so once this is out, it's out.
So yeah, so there's a lot of people that I really, really, that I am grateful for, and one of them might be one that you won't expect me to say, and it is my mum, because my mum, at the end of the day, she tried to be a good mum, and even though I don't think she gave me she was a single mum, and it was the whole guidance thing was I don't think she could 100% give me the guidance I needed as a kid. I was, and with ADHD and stuff like. But she did everything she could to look after me as a kid. It was tough, but my mum was my mum, and I do love her. And yeah, so the first person that I think I need to shout out is my mum, because I'm still alive, and for the beginning part of my childhood, it was fucking tough. There was times where my mum went without nothing and eating when I was a baby to be able to feed me. So there was, my mum number one, and Jordan, my business partner, 100%. His dad, because he does a lot for us, and that his family treats me like their family. And these tiny little things, they're not big people that have showed loads of money and all this. Those people, it's the people that have given me the time. The only thing I ever wanted growing up was a good set of friends. Never got it, got bullied. Like these little things that people do for me, just being there around me. My boxing coach, 100%. He's one. Yeah, and Steve and the family at Jaegers again. And yeah, these people, it does mean the world. And at the hardest times, you were there for me and you've supported me. So yeah, I'm eternally grateful.
Last question, mate. And yeah, respect to all those people. As somebody who's been to hell and back, have you got any advice for anybody out there that might be listening or will listen, who is going through bad times, has had bad times, whatever? And I mean, it's evident where you're in a good mind space. So have you got any advice for anybody that's not in that good mind space? Do
not be scared of spending time on your own to get shit sorted. A year is not a long time. 2 years is not a long time. To think, if you're in a bad position in your life, take a year out, go quiet, go off the scene, work on yourself, do shit that you need to do, get your shoes on day one and start running, go to the gym day one. That is the most important thing, I think. Resetting that every day to deal with things that need dealing with, questions that or things that you're trying to figure out. Go and train and you'll figure it out. And it's like a kind of sleep repeat process, and set small targets, little things at the end of the week, at the end of the day, loads of things. You might just start off with things in your house that need doing. Get on top of them, start clearing and start driving yourself into this productive mindset. This is why making your bed on the morning is the most important job of the day, because it gives you a little sense of satisfaction and achievement that will lead you to do the next job. So that's the same with everything else, just start making little steps, set milestones monthly or whatever, and tell yourself every day where you want to be in a year's time, and don't stop until you get there. And it literally can be done as easy as that. You just got to take the first step, but do not be scared of taking time out or spending time on your own to get to the position or to be the person that you need to be.
Here, well said. I like that. It's pretty inspiring, that, mate, to be fair. Yeah, respect.
Thank you.
I like that. Yeah. You've evidently got a lot of balls and a lot of bravery, and you evidently, I know you said at the beginning of this podcast that you were in bottom sets at school, and like this, you know, you're evidently highly intelligent, mate. You're very, very switched on. We're gonna round it up, Sky. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah, it's been really refreshing for me, to be honest. Like I say, it's not often this stuff gets brought up, and we've gone through it a lot deeper. I think we've dug it up a lot deeper than I have with any of my clients. So it's been really refreshing, to be honest. There's a few things we've talked about that I completely forgot about, if I'm honest. So it's been nice. It's been really good.
You deserve all the, everything good that's happening now, mate. You do deserve it. Like,
cheers, mate.
Huge respect, huge admiration. I'm inspired just through listening. I feel like I want to go do some push-ups. Yeah, man, massive respect. Just dead quick. Obviously, you've got a shitload of things going on. How can people contact you? How can people get haircut? How can people get the teeth done? How can people buy products? Do the plugs.
Near cut to book appointments, but
near cut.
Yeah, it's going to be called Divergent Roadman soon. We bought into it, so they're actually creating us our own app at the minute.
Got it.
That is, yeah, so you'll be able to download the Divergent Roadman app off the App Store and Play Store. However, it is crazy busy in the barbershop. The media production, you can contact us through our WhatsApp or our Facebook page, our Instagram, and we will lead you into the right direction from then on, depending on what it is that you're wanting. Teeth whitening, message the page. At the minute, you will be able to book on the booking system soon. Fucking hell, what else are we doing? Boxing gloves.
Checking them
just give
plates.
us a message. You'll be able to order and customise them on the website soon when that goes live. Literally, the best time to be doing anything. When is this going out? This is going out probably
7th of June.
Yeah, so by then, so now you'll be able to. Website will be live 1st of July. Yeah, everything goes live from. So it's going to be really exciting, man. And yeah, if anyone has any general inquiries or anything, feel free to give me a personal message on Instagram or Facebook. And either me or one of my team will get back to you. And yeah, and the website is going to be the best place.
You can be found through Sky Taylor or Divergent Roadman, right?
Yeah, so my Instagram is actually called Divergent Roadman. My page on Facebook, Sky Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, man. Beautiful. Cool. Sky Taylor, absolute pleasure.
Yeah, you too,
Thank you
mate.
for coming. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, lovely, mate. Perfect.
Southpaw, will you make a note of all them things and stick them at the bottom of the video?
Absolutely,
yeah?
They'll be linked in the description.
Brilliant. Listen, everybody, thank you for watching. This has been Mr. Sky Taylor.
Thank you.
Watch out for him. There's shit happening.
Cheers.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Pleasure.